Thanks for the introduction, Dr. Marita. So it's really my pleasure to talk with you all today. I'm going to go to give you some overview about some shared genetic uh, uh, components between IBD and psoriasis, and then how we could go from here to try to leverage some of the information for potential translation application. So this is my disclosure. So psoriasis patients can experience like different types of comorbidities, including cardiovascular conditions, diabetes, or different other immune conditions. So IBD is also one of the comorbidities that include Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis or CD or UC. They're like common subtypes of IBD. There are like different epidemiological studies have been have been conducted trying to understand the associations, and we're showing like some of one of the recent studies that show the odd ratios for occurring psoriasis with CD or UC is around like 1.7 based on this study. So the electronic health records over the past 20 years have really facilitated a the collection and also literature analysis of a lot of these uh, uh, disease relationships. Okay, it provides a very cost-effective way to conduct epidemiological or even genetic studies. So this study that we just got accepted yesterday, actually. So we try to look into the comorbidities of multiple different skin diseases by looking into a claim database um, that include over like 13 millions of individuals over the past 10, 20 years in the United States. And I'm just going to give you some quick overview what we find. So this is like number of psoriatic patients that we have looked into, like over 200,000 psoriatic patients. And we also have like 48,000 of psoriatic arthritis. So for the psoriatic patients or the psoriatic arthritis patients, we try to compare um, their comorbidities rates when comparing with the like normal control individuals. And here are the different diseases or conditions that we have looked into. Red color representing they occur more than expected. The blue one representing they occur less often than expected. You actually see that like Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis among the two that have the higher odd ratios when compared to other conditions. So both IBD and psoriasis are complex diseases. The common conditions it represents there's a lot of interplay between multiple genes or loci with environmental factors. So each um, individual locus would actually contribute modestly to the disease, but then there would be like many different components across the genome. So in order to identify these genetic variations that are associated with either IBD or psoriasis, if different studies have been conducted independently in the past. So for IBD, over 200 loci have been identified. And then for psoriasis, from a recent paper, that over 100 loci have been uncovered. So this genome-wide solution studies, the concept is that trying to, for each genetic variant, we try to compare the allele frequencies in the cases versus those in control and identify those genetic variants, those that disease-associated variants that have a big difference between cases and control. So then that's like a long journey from where where everyone started and to now what we know about the shared genetic signal. So when we first started, try to do the psoriasis GWAS or other investigators trying to do the IBD GWAS, they look into the regions that have been identified by associated with the trait. Okay, and then they try to see in some of the early studies try to just looking into the overlap. Okay, so this is just an example. We did this we did this GWAS like over 10 years ago, and we identified multiple different loci, and then that time we were interested in saying, well, within this particular locus, have this also been identified in other disease, just but simple disease overlap. Okay, and you can see that then there are multiple different loci at that time that shows overlap. You see Crohn's disease here, so other conditions here. So again, this is like just simple overlap, and then you could look into this figure asking, well, for loci that are associated with psoriasis, what are their notable genes in that locus that are also linked to other like comorbidities that are also complex condition. Okay, so this is like one of the earliest way, and then um, another study that actually published in the same year, on the same year, they try to combine the psoriasis GWAS and IBD GWAS and try to look into like doing like a meta-analysis kind of study and to use that to map some disease share signals. And this is actually pretty cool. Then you could actually see how some of the genes that are encompassed in some of the shared loci are involved in the IL-23 or IL-17 signaling pathway. So, so that now I just mentioned about like their shared loci, but are they the same signal? Are they just like overlap but not in the same signal? So I introduce you to like this colocalization analysis. So this has a history in trying to interpret the GWAS signal by using expression connected trait loci association. Okay, so basically you could ask, well, if we have two different traits, and then so the x-axis representing the genomic position, the y-axis representing the statistical significance level. So are they kind of like co-localized, together? If they are collocated together, that means that they are sharing the same signal. If not, they may be just two independent signals within the same region. Okay, so a study that just conducted this year did this. Okay, you can see the x-axis here was an IBD US signals, and then the y-axis here is psoriasis US signals, and then they show that some of those shared loci are indeed co-localized, and this is highlighting the IL-23 locus, saying that the pattern, the LD patterns actually co-localized with each other, suggesting they are actually indeed the same genetic signal. So after looking into this like genetic signal share list, what other things that we could do by using statistical genetics or the genetic information? In the last 4 or 5 years, this statistical genetic technique called Mendelian randomizations have been conducted. So rather than using only disease incidence, okay, the Mendelian randomization technique try to use the genetic markers that random distributed among population to model to model one disease, like for example exposure, and then use that to model the disease to in turn, okay, conduct a linear regression on the effect side for the other disease, like the outcome. Okay, so using this approach, you could actually infer potential causal relationship. And then a study that published last year conduct this Mendelian randomization, okay, using over 400,000 European individuals, and they try to use that to infer the causal relationship. So what they found is that the genetically predicted IBD, okay, so you're using the genetic variants that are associated with IBD to model the IBD as exposure, is actually associated with high risk of psoriasis and psoriatic arthritis, shown here in that figure. But on the contrary, when you try to use the genetic signals to model psoriasis and psoriatic arthritis, they do not find any causal effect on the IBD. So in conclusion, there's existing GWAS link that show shared genetic regions in psoriasis and IBD. Okay, using more advanced techniques and also high resolution genetic map, we could infer some causal relationship and also not only asking whether they are shared genetic regions, but also whether they are shared signal or between IBD and psoriasis and as such, which is looking into like as like IL-12/23 signaling pathway that is shared, and this could potentially could help us to translate some of those genetic findings to clinical settings by predicting drug response if we also integrate with genomic information. Yeah, that's all for my talk. Thank you. Have you taken any question?
Thank you very much. And Alex, this was a great talk. Very much excellent insight. So I think I would like to ask the attendance, and if you have any question from the audience, please put your question to the chat or by the Q&A. I'm sorry, Q&A. So Q&A, not chat in a Q&A. You can find at the bottom in a Q&A. Okay, I think it is not no question at this moment. So I would like to ask you: is there any related to the efficacy to added 12 and 23 P90 or P40 antibody? So from your result and a conclusion, so can we consider the treatment for if patient have IBD and psoriasis, if the patient has both psoriasis and IBD, or just psoriasis alone, or just PSA alone, or PSA and comorbidity in IBD?
Yeah, well, that's a great question. I'm not a clinician, so I'm not sure the best answer for the treatment. But then from our so we also study psoriasis and other comorbidities, like including type 2 diabetes. And we do find that for those individuals that have psoriasis and type 2 diabetes, they have the risk loci that are shared between the two conditions in a higher, risk allele frequencies than individuals just have psoriasis or just have type 2 diabetes. So I would extrapolate that and say that, for those individuals that suffer from both IBD and psoriasis, they may also have a little bit more unique genetic profile in their IL-23 signaling loci than individuals that just have psoriasis or just have IBD. But yeah, no, that's a great question. And yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, we will have another Q&A, and it's the final part of it, 10 minutes. Okay, please join again, Alex. Thank you very much. Great talk.